road trip for your team to start the season. How's your fall camp gone?
It's gone great. I really like this group. I really like these kids a lot. Um, Little chip on their shoulder attitude from fall camp, and we've kept everybody for the most part healthy beyond the little dings and bruises. And now we're into game week.
I know we talked at media day how much year one was. You felt like you were fighting a little bit uphill in year one in the CAA. How much better do you feel about your group and your program headed into year two?
I think our guys have been really able to focus on the level of execution. I think that that has been something that last fall, whether it was the penalties, where we stood in the conference in terms of penalties and things like that, just how clean we've had to play. And that's something that we've put a tremendous amount of focus on in the off season, and it's coming through in camp. Some of the things that have burned us in ball games, that also burned us in practice, really have kind of faded out a little bit. And that's just the mark of a team that's getting better.
First question this morning for me. Go ahead, Ian.
Hey, Chris, hope you're well.
Yeah.
How'd the New Mexico State scheduling come about? I know it's a bye game, things like that, but do you know anybody over there? Take us through that process.
Well, Ian, when you change four conferences in 4 years, you can pretty well just drop a hand grenade on any schedule that you have, and that just got blown up year after year after year after year. So now I'm excited to be in a conference second year. This game came about because they had an opening. We had a need. We need the money. Yeah, all the way around, it just worked out pretty well for us.
Differences in off seasons between last year and this year, like you mentioned, kind of settled into the CAA. You understand, kind of what's ahead. What's the difference? Can you compare last year to this year, maybe?
Sure. We know where the target is. We know where the sweet spot. We know where the bullseye needs to be in a lot of different parts of our football program that we didn't know. Last year we didn't know what we didn't know. Now that we do, there's no excuses. You have to execute, have to meet the goals that we set, the short-term goals each week on play, on penalties, as well as just simply who we play. There's when you look at our schedule, and last year I thought that was the most difficult schedule in Bryant history when it came to not only the teams that we played, but I think at one point we had seven opponents on our schedule that were all in conference that had a little number next to their name at some point during the season. So, this year doesn't expect to be any different, but there is a difference between playing bottom half FCS football and ranked FCS football, and we hopefully have made the steps to correct those things.
Chris, let's talk about your team a little bit, and we'll start on the offense. And it always starts at the quarterback spot. Assuming that Brennan Meyer is your guy, he was able to get a lot of valuable snaps a year ago and a lot of playing time. How has he progressed, and how much do you think he benefited from that playing time a year ago?
I think that playing time that he got last year was gold for him. One of his first starts was against Stony Brook. That was ranked, took us into overtime through his play. That's when he really kind of emerged as a quarterback, and so much so that by the end of the year, when we played Rhode Island to finish out the year, even though Jarrett Guest, who was I think top 10 in the country when he got injured, we went with Brennan, and it wasn't for any other reason other than he gave us some of the ability that we felt at the time to win ball games. So he's done a lot to his body in the offseason. He's gained weight. He's stronger. He has gotten better since last fall, and he has taken the car keys, and it's his to drive right now.
Question for me, and go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, Chris, we've seen a couple of videos the team has posted about you awarding scholarships to walk-ons or guys who are on partial, things like that. What are those moments like for you, and why are you giving them to the specific individuals that you are?
Sure. Well, first off, nobody knows the journey of a walk-on better than me. I was one. And it's not so much now the financial piece does help, but it's the justification. And these were two seniors, two kids going into their senior year that came here as walk-ons, and they have done exactly what I've asked them to do. They have fought, they have scrapped. Nick Parada, Karen Bill, and they have fought their way into rotation, into getting onto the game field. And I think recognizing these guys and being able to show not only the other walk-ons on the team that, yeah, it is a possibility, just compete. And just really happy to be able to celebrate that moment with these kids. In both cases, it was a shock to them. They didn't know what was going on. I think their teammates realized before they realized what took place, which made it a lot more fun. And I think anytime you can celebrate hard work, doing things the right way, both on and off the football field, something like this, I think that's special.
Chris, along with go ahead, Bill. Bill has a question for you.
Mhm.
Morning, Chris. How are you?
Good, Bill.
Just in general, how do you approach FBS games in terms of like, how many guys you want to play, how much you might want to show on film, ahead of conference opponents or Brown? Just, what's a coaching staff approach to that?
Sure. The tough part is breaking down or getting ready for a team that we have no really information on. 2/3 of their roster is brand new. Um, a lot of their key positions are transfers. So we really don't have any idea. The only benefit that we have is their new offensive coordinator was the offensive coordinator at FIU when we played them a couple years ago. So we have an idea. This has sort of been my luck or my draw when it comes to FC or FBS opponents. It seems like every time we play one, we're their first game and they've got all of our film and we don't have a whole lot of information on them. So we're going to find out in that first quarter what they're going to try to do. They do have talented kids returning, especially in the heart of their defense. We're just going to line up. We're going to listen. We don't play games just to play games. We play games to win, and we're going to line up and do the best we can.
Thanks.
Yeah, another one for me. And go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, Chris, off the top, you mentioned the chip on the shoulder with the team. I'm wondering, how do you see that, and why is that there?
Um, I think these kids have a tremendous amount of pride, given the fact that we've come from a couple conferences where we competed for the championship. And it literally went down to the final week into a conference like the CAA, and we didn't win a game in conference. And I think our kids have pride like anybody else. Playing close, playing tough, just wasn't getting good enough to them. And if we're not trying to win, what are we doing? I've probably said that 100 times over the last couple of years, and that's why they have a chip on their shoulder, because they have pride, which hopefully we instilled in them a little bit. I think that's the little extra, hopefully the little extra fuel in the fire that says, hey, if we're going to be successful at this level, we need to play at this level. And that's the hope, at least. That's what I tell myself.
Chris, what's the toughest part about making a long trip to open your season like this to New Mexico?
Probably going to be the time change, the difference, because we're going to end up kicking the ball off, I believe, at around 9 or 10 p.m. our time. And then, to be honest with you, it just eats into the next week, because we won't be getting in until probably 5 or 6 in the morning back our time after the game. So I think that kind of bites into the preparation for UMass after a little bit. Plus, I've gotten used to the Rhode Island weather. Rob, this is kind of, it's a little bit, it's amazing. 10 days ago, it was a heat index of 3 digits, 100 degrees. They're telling us we had to get off the field to take water breaks and all these things. And then I can probably circle the exact time and date that fall started last week. But we're going to go out into the desert week 1. So it's going to be different.
All right, Chris. Safe travels to the desert. Hopefully